Hey student, I am teacher Prix and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Thank you so much for joining me on another English lesson. If it's your first time here, thank you so much. This is about 40 to 45 minutes. There's a lot of information, but I'm sure the content of this lesson has the power to help you become an independent English speaker who can go anywhere, anytime. Now, people on Instagram, come to YouTube because here you can see these slides, okay? So tonight, we are going to be talking about how to study for less time and still become an independent English speaker. Because hello, busy people, if you don't have much time, you can still become an independent English speaker. You just need to follow the right strategies, and that's what I'm going to do tonight to show you the way. If you don't know me very well, I'm teacher Prix. I have been teaching English for more than 15 years. I have a YouTube channel with more than 9 million views. This is my second channel, a live lessons channel. I've been to the US, I lived abroad, I have certifications from Harvard, and I am also a master practitioner of neurolinguistic programming because in my methodology, I like to combine brain, the language strategies, and emotions to help you unlock your English so that you can talk to people in English more confidently, feel confident about your ability to communicate. And tonight, I'm going to talk about time and how you can work around your schedule to study English. Hello, Mariella, how are you? The registration for my program is not open yet, okay? But stay tuned. When it opens, you will know, and then you'll be able to become a BSA. A BSA, by the way, Linhares, how are you? Thank you so much for watching the lesson. Come to YouTube. We have 3 hashtags, okay? Because I need to know who you are. It's very important to me. Even if you're watching the replay, that would be nice. Newbie, you are new. You don't know me very well. Nice to meet you. Newbie, so hashtag newbie. Regular is the next one, the next identification. Regular, it means you already know me, you watch some lessons, so you've been around. Hello there. BSA is students in my program. Even if you're watching the replay, it's okay. Post in the comments. That'll be nice, okay? So 3 important hashtags. Newbie, regular, BSA. So who are you? What is your hashtag? I would love to know that. Now, guys, let's keep rolling because I know you guys are busy. Maybe not so busy, you know. Maybe you have plenty of time. Tawan is a regular. Excellent. Tatiana is a regular. Good, good. Now, guys, invite your friends to watch. Share this video with your friends. This secret, and I'm going to explain this more, okay? I'm going to be explaining this. We're going to have exercise. Yes. To do the exercise, you have to be here on YouTube. If you are on Instagram, it won't work. You won't listen, okay? We are going to listen because I believe in the integration, the combination of skills. Basically, to help you study for less time, less time, there are 2 important points that we are going to cover in this lesson to help you study for less time and still have better results, still become independent, still be able to, travel abroad or have a job interview or have conversations at work, have meetings, or simply enjoy reading something in English or watching a movie, watching a TV show. So that's the main points of this lesson, okay? So these points are connected with time management, of course, and also emotions. In my method, in everything I do here on my channel and in my life, I like to analyze the emotions. That's why I have international certifications in neurolinguistic programming. I like to understand how the brain works, how the emotions impact our results. And the emotions will impact your life in every aspect of your life, in a positive way or in a negative way. That's why I took international certifications, to help me bring that element in the learning process, in the language learning process, okay? And people who are busy, of course that we every student will have some kind of challenge, but tonight we're talking about busy people studying for lessons, still getting better. People who are busy have an invisible enemy. Ah, okay, Danny works in Charlotte. She needs to speak to clients. She or he, I'm not sure, because Danny, it's a very flexible name. Anywho, so people who are busy have an invisible enemy, and I'm going to be talking about this enemy. It's connected to emotions, okay? We're gonna talk about that. Very well. Elma BSA, Alison, awesome. Very good, very good. Now, guys, let's keep rolling. Why is this lesson so important? Because it is really the foundation of my methodology. Because emotions and language, if you ignore one and focus on the other, you're not going to learn. And what I see students doing is language, 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 which is important. Of course it is. But we need to understand the emotions, how you feel about your ability to learn, the thoughts you have in your head. You know, do you believe in yourself? Do you feel confident? You know, do you fight your fears and I can do this? Or do you freeze when there is an opportunity? Okay? And I have witnessed, I have seen with my eyes people with good English who would freeze because they were not working on emotions. Okay? So this is something we need to understand. So time management, whether, and this is also a very relevant, time management is important whether you don't have time, if you, of course, especially for you, if you don't have much time and you need English, okay, to improve your life or to achieve a personal goal, a personal dream, you need English, but you don't have much time. But it also applies to other kinds of students, the students who have a lot of time, who have plenty of time, because having a lot of time can be tricky if you don't follow the right strategies, okay? So this is something we're going to talk about in this lesson. Just having time, oh, I have a lot of time. Yeah, okay, but are you following the right strategies? Working on the emotions, working on the language aspects. Otherwise, things are not going to work out, okay? So this these are the two scenarios we need to watch out for. Don't have time but need English, have a lot of time, but, well, that doesn't mean your life is going to be any easier, okay? Watch out for that. I had a student a long time ago, and she basically stopped her life, okay? She left everything behind to study abroad. And then she spent some time there, a few months there. And when she returned, she was like, I'm not, she found me, okay? We started having lessons and it was great. And then she told me, wow, I don't understand why 1 hour a week is helping me improve while I spent 3 months there and I studied a lot every day, like 4, 5, 6 hours, and I was not getting better. Why? Because it's not about having time. I explained this to her. I understood what she was doing in the school she went to. And I explained, look, that's not how it works. It's not studying a lot and miraculously improving. It's about the consistency. It's about what you keep doing and the exercises you do, the activities you do, and the emotions. We're also going to talk about intentional practice. I'm going to explain this to you guys. So this lesson is very important because you can still achieve your goals, whether you have 30 minutes a day or if you have more time, if you have 2 hours, 2 hours and a half, 3 hours, 4 hours. What? 4 hours? Good for you. Now, the invisible enemy. You know, the invisible enemy is yourself. But why is it invisible? Because you don't see it. You don't realize you are the enemy. And basically, guys, we could apply this principle, this theory in every aspect of your life, okay? If one day I decide to create another channel just to talk about personal development, it is going to be the same lessons. Be careful about yourself. You can be your hero, okay? You can be your hero or you can be the villain. You can be the enemy. It depends on your attitude, okay? How do you become your invisible enemy? Yourself, okay? Basically, if you put too much pressure on yourself, that you need to do more, that is something wrong and you need to include more things. And when you analyze your life and your schedule, you get frustrated because you don't have time to include more. And the conflict begins because you don't have enough time to do more. So in your mind, you're like, well, but I need to do more, but I don't have time. So this conflict of, oh, I need to do more. Oh, but I don't have time. This will start a very bad negative emotion association because you will begin to feel guilty. You will begin to feel like, yeah, I don't have time, but I need to do more. Yeah, this is not enough. Never enough. You know that song, Never Enough? Never enough. And this is not good because the next thing you're going to do is usually not very good either. You will keep this cycle of, well, that's why I don't improve. Well, I suck. Well, I don't have time. Well, so I just should stop English because I'm too busy anyway. And then an opportunity comes knocking. Hey, would you like to have a job interview like in English? What? Then you go back to your mind. You're like, oh man, if I had studied more, I would be ready. I would have been ready for this interview. But because I wasn't, oh, damn it. It's all my fault. This self-judging yourself, self-judging. This is not positive, okay? And this cycle only gets worse and worse. Because you feel like, where can I carve out time to study more? By the way, do you know the meaning of carve out? The phrasal verb carve out. Especially, there are many meanings to this phrasal verb, but for the one that I'm going to talk about, okay? So hashtag yes, hashtag no. Elma, I just realized I am my own invisible enemy. Yeah, girl, we need to work on that, okay? I think you were a BSA. Go do the techniques, the neuro-linguistic programming techniques in the academy. Do them consistently. These days I was doing the bridge to future exercise. Oh, it's so good. I love doing that exercise. I do it myself for other things, not for English, but I do other things, okay? So tell me, hashtag yes, hashtag no. Do you know the phrasal verb carve out? I see lots of no's. Good. So here, remember, integration. You are going to learn English. You're going to learn about management. You're going to learn vocabulary. You're going to listen. Okay, so come to YouTube if you want to do the listening practice. So let's see. Maria doesn't know. Let's see more answers. Dunny doesn't know. Dunny's a girl, by the way. I saw your message. Okay, Maria says yes. Okay. Good. Now, to carve out time, to make time, okay? So some people who are very busy, they start this mental conversation. Where can I carve out time to study? You look at your, where is it? Okay, let's suppose this is my schedule, okay? So I look at my schedule and I'm like, where can I carve out time? Where can I make time to study English? Oh my God, I can't. This is too typical for me. Damn it. I'm terrible. I will never learn English. So you see where the conversation goes. You start with, I don't have time. And by the end of the conversation, you're like, I suck. I can't do anything. What is wrong with me? This is the enemy. Okay? This is the invisible enemy being very successful. Because you start with one problem. And then you go to another completely unrelated thing. Just because you don't have time doesn't mean you're not capable of learning, okay? So these are the associations that we need to be careful about, okay? So do you understand carve out time, make time? Do you understand? Tell me, hashtag yes, hashtag no, okay? I want to know if you understand the meaning of this phrasal verb. Now, guys, the second point, because we can't just be here like, oh, emotions feel good. Yeah, we need some practical things too, okay? Well, I forgot to keep changing my slides, but I have I have one more important thing to talk about emotions, then we will move on to the second point, okay? If you keep feeling guilty, there is a movie. This picture you see here on the screen right now is from the movie Inside Out, okay? And this is a very good movie that I strongly recommend you watch. The power of emotions and how if you don't understand what you feel, you could go bonkers, okay? You could go bananas. You would go like, oh, what's going on in my life? So understanding emotions. So I would recommend watching Inside Out. Very good movie, sweet, it's for children, but there's such a beautiful message that it's really for adults. Adults who are in trouble. Now, what is the problem of making your invisible enemy strong? Okay, you will get into a loop, a repetition, a loop. Okay, a loop of bad emotions and bad study practices because you don't study, and when you study, you try to do more to compensate. Okay, that's the problem. Maybe you don't have much time, but every time you have a little time, or maybe a few days off at work, maybe something in your routine changes, you try to do more to compensate for the time you were not studying. And this will initiate the process of establishing a bad habit. You don't have time, then you feel guilty. When you have time, you try to do more, try to do too much. And that will make you feel like, oh, but this is too difficult. I can't do this every day. You're always in this loop, feeling bad, not studying so much. When you study, you cannot realistically follow that plan because it's just so much. So you go back to, no, I can't. Then when your routine goes back to the usual, you remember that, oh, but that is very unrealistic. I cannot follow that routine. So you see, that's the challenge. Emotions are very important. That's point number one. Be careful because emotions and bad habits, that's basically like an atomic, that's a bomb, okay? Like really, really bad. That is going to have tragic results, effects on your English journey, okay? Now, in the academy, I remember there was a student, I talked to her very recently, and before she joined the academy, she was not sure because she's a very busy person. She works, she has, I think, 1 or 2 kids, I don't remember, and she was worried like, oh my God, I don't have much time. And what I like doing with the babies to help them stay on top of the not going crazy with a schedule thing is they have a schedule. They have recommendations of what to do. And basically, the recommendations, my goal with the recommendation is to help them focus. Because when you go all over the place, it's hard to know what to do. And even with the babies who are busy, you need to focus. Do at least a little from the schedule. And you're already better. The key thing to make your invisible enemy poof go away, the mind games, is to do what is necessary. Follow the work and don't feel like you're not doing enough because you are. You need to be realistic with your schedule. And the feedback this BSA gave to me was, wow, it's organized. Thank you. I needed organization. And this is what happens to students who study alone and they try to do too much. They don't have a very organized life, okay? And maybe they are very organized at work. Maybe they know things about work. But when it comes to other aspects of their lives, it's messy. That's why it is so important to focus, okay? And I'm going to give you some ideas to help you stay on top of things, okay? Now, listening, okay? We are going to focus on point 2. Point 2 is integration. Busy people may not have, let's say, 5 days a week to study. Or maybe because let's say right now you decide you want to take a master's degree. And you think, oh, if I study this, I will not have so much time for English. What do I do? Well, maybe you will need to reduce the number of days you're going to study. And here is where point 2 is so important. If you practice skill integration, the combination of skills, it is okay if you study 3 times a week or twice a week. because you will be, whenever you sit down to study, you will combine the English skills with the little time you have. And when I say little, don't be sad. If you don't have much time, you don't have much time. What are we going to do? Cry about it? I don't have time. Well, if you can't change that now, do what's possible. Don't be so hard on yourself. That's the key, okay? Now, what are we going to do? People on Instagram, you will not listen, okay? Come to YouTube on my name. Tap on my name. The link in my bio will take you to my YouTube channel right now where the live is happening. I will play the audio. You will not listen, okay? So people on YouTube, you are going to listen to a guy. You will not see him. You will only listen to him. And he's going to talk about something, about time, okay? He's going to use the expression you learned. So let's listen now. Tell me if you're ready. Hashtag yes, hashtag no. Are you ready to do the listening? And then I'll play the audio. In the meantime, I'm giving a little time for the people on Instagram to come to YouTube. Now, basically, you're going to listen to a short sentence, well, a few sentences, okay? And in this sentence, he's going to use the phrasal verb you learned. See? Integration, okay? So let's get to work.
The problem I'm identifying is that people struggle to carve out time to grind because they lack a system, a plan, and a little discipline.
I'll play twice more.
The problem I'm identifying is that people struggle to carve out time to grind because they lack a system, a plan, and a little discipline.
Again.
The problem I'm identifying is that people struggle to carve out time to grind because they lack a system, a plan, and a little discipline.
One more time.
The problem I'm identifying is that people struggle to carve out time to grind because they lack a system, a plan, and a little discipline.
And one more time to finish up.
The problem I'm identifying is that people struggle to carve out time to grind because they lack a system, a plan, and a little discipline.
All right. So what did you hear? Tell me here in the chat. What did you hear? What did you listen? People on Instagram, you didn't listen to anything, okay? But people on YouTube, you did. What did you listen? Tell me here in the chat. What were the phrases you listened? Type. In the meantime, I'm going to talk a little bit about point 2, the integration. Now, guys, the integration can be a little tricky. It's not just, oh, I will combine the skills and that's it. Well, it's not so simple. It's one thing you need to focus, okay? Make sure to type the answer here. We'll keep explaining, but I need to keep talking, but I want to see your answers, okay? Now, the thing is, making time to study, making time for English can be difficult when you don't have a plan, or when you don't think you need to do when you think you need to do too many things to improve. And that's basically the idea of the listening as well. The guy is talking about that. Let me just go to the next slide. Now, studying for less time means that you need to connect 2 or 3 skills. And the secret is the combination. So these activities, they should be between 20 to 45 minutes. It depends on how much time you have. It depends on the frequency. Teacher Prix, I just have 30 minutes. Okay. Teacher Prix, I have 30 minutes 3 times a week. That's okay. Teacher, I have 40 minutes. Awesome. So you need to decide that, okay? And here, with 45 minutes 3 times a week, that's awesome. You are going to have tremendous results if you're consistent. And when I say consistent, I'm talking about a decent amount of time. You're not going to see results next week. But teacher, I followed your recommendations and I didn't see an improvement. But for how long? Were you really consistent? Then that's when we start questioning, did it really work? Did it really work? Okay? Now, with the babies in the academy, they have a piece of paper that tracks their habits. They answer yes or no. They keep it's personal, they download and then they can use this throughout their experience in the academy. Did I do this? Yes or no? Did I do X? Yes or no? Am I doing this and this? Yes or no? Am I doing that? Yes, no. Responsibility, accountability, okay? So here, what do I mean by connecting to connecting 2 or 3 skills? Let's say you watch the grammar lesson. So you watch the grammar lesson, write a short essay using the grammar you learned. You're combining 2 skills. You watch the phrasal verb lesson, a vocabulary lesson, phrasal verb, vocabulary. Now what you can do is you can record yourself creating examples with the phrasal verbs you're learning. 2 skills, speaking and vocabulary. 2, okay? And you can even include a third one, reading. You can go to Google and try to find examples with those phrasal verbs to help you get more ideas on the examples you can create. You're reading something in English. How about working on vocabulary? Okay, vocabulary, excuse me. That's why just reading on the bus where you don't get time to concentrate, take notes, depending on where you are, that gets a little bit difficult, okay? So reading an article, checking the words, and then practicing shadowing. For that activity, you would need the audio clip, okay? For example, the babies in my academy, they get to read the article and also listen so that they can practice pronunciation, work on shadowing, not to mention the listening exercises they have. So when I say study for less time, that's what I mean, okay? Because what happens is some students, they spend too much time doing one activity and ignore the others. Or they don't have the right strategy to follow the activities. And then it's not productive. So you could spend a long time doing the exercises. You could spend hours and hours studying. You're not going to improve. This is what happened to the student I was talking about a few minutes ago. She traveled to New York City. She was studying in New York. She spent about 4 hours every day studying, and she didn't improve. Why? It's not about the number of hours. It's about the method. It's about building the right habits, using the right materials to help you improve. Okay? Place doesn't mean anything. Nationality doesn't mean anything. It's about method, experience, knowing how to combine these skills, knowing how to understand students, understand what they need. And sometimes the schools are not ready. Traditional methods, they don't pay so much attention because they have a large number of students. So everything has a standard that, well, it's kind of old-fashioned, okay? So what did the guy say? People struggle to carve out time to grind because they lack a system, a plan, and a little discipline. That's what the man said, okay? People struggle to carve out time to grind, okay? If you watch me here on YouTube, I used the verb grind before, okay? I explained to grind in the past. So make sure to check it out, okay? I remember I was telling you a story in the past, and then I used the verb grind, and I explained to you. So people struggle, oh, where is it? My goodness. People struggle to carve out time to grind because they lack a system, a plan, and a little discipline, okay? People who are having trouble and they need to study for less time have problems with discipline, okay? How do I know that? Because this is a challenge for me. I'm a busy person. I need to be disciplined because I know I'm busy, okay? That's why I follow a plan, because I know it's important for busy people who want to study for less time and improve their English, okay? So that is a very important point. If you didn't understand the listening, listen again. That's the idea of these lessons. I'm always bringing different kinds of components here to help you improve. Now, why are these 2 points so important? Why am I repeating them here? Well, guys, because if you follow this right practice of understanding your invisible enemy and working on your study habits so that you have a more productive practice, you will not feel guilty anymore. Oh, but I'm not studying a lot. That's bad. No, it's not. It's good, okay? So that's the idea. And when you start to feel more positive about your study routine, about your gradual improvements, you feel more positive. And when you feel more positive, your brain relaxes. Your brain learns more easily. If you are in a state of stress, you don't learn, okay? You can have the best teacher in the world, but if you are in a constant state of stress and pressure and negative emotions, you are not going to learn, okay? That's why sometimes when we're going through something very difficult in life, a problem or someone passes away in our family, we go through a difficult situation, through a difficult time, because we are stressing the brain, emotions, okay? And when you establish the right study habits, you follow a decent plan, you boost your emotions because you feel like, hey, I'm doing this, I'm getting better, all right, and you don't get stressed, okay? Of course, if we get stressed in life, I'm not saying that you're going to be happy all the time. No, but I'm talking about the learning process. That's what I mean, okay? Now, the wrong way to do it, because it's important to understand what happens when you follow the wrong study habits. You start to believe you need more time than you actually have, okay? Which in turn makes you lose motivation. So you're always in this loop. You believe you need more time than you have, and you lose motivation because you don't have much time, or you try to compensate for the days you procrastinated, which will unconsciously make you feel like it's not possible to follow the routine, because you will remember those days when you studied a lot. Oh, let's do it. But you know that realistically speaking, you can't follow that plan. Okay? So that's why it's the loop, it's the negative loop. Lose motivation, start procrastinating, decide to change a little, study too much, realize it's a bad decision because you don't have enough time to follow all those crazy ideas, lose motivation again, start procrastinating again, and the loop goes on and on. And bad study habits equal bad emotions. You won't feel confident about your English. Confidence is an emotion, is a state. You feel confident depending on the actions you take. So do you want to feel more confident in English? We need to take a closer look at your actions. But teacher, I don't have anyone to practice the English speaking with me. Yeah, but if you only wait for the moment when you finally have someone, you will not build your confidence. Don't put this responsibility outside of you. Otherwise, you will always be dependent on something you don't know when will happen. That's why with the babies, I always recommend them have a solo practice. They actually have recommendations of speaking exercises, answering questions they should do every week, because speaking is a skill. Skills need to be practiced so that it can be improved, okay? Now, the wrong way to go, the wrong way to do this. Basically, the most problematic action is to go on and off with your study practice, okay? You start and then you stop, then you get back, then you stop, then you get back, then you stop, okay? So be careful, because when you stop and you try to come back, you overcompensate. You try to do more than necessary. And this will only make you lose motivation, because realistically speaking, you cannot keep up. You cannot continue doing that because you know it's too much. So watch out for that, okay? Another wrong way to do it. Choosing materials that are poorly created. Well, let me rephrase this. Choosing materials that are not good for you, okay? They are poorly created. They are not considering duration and quantity. So let's say I think it's a big deal in society nowadays to have access to pretty much anything you want. Like you want a movie, there you have it. You want a TV show, there you have it. You want a podcast, there you have it. We have so many things available that we lose our ability to tell which one is good and which one is not. So be careful with your choices. Your poor choices of material will bring your habits way down, your emotions down, because you may think you're having a productive practice when you're not. There are so many apps nowadays. We need to watch out, okay? Watch out, watch out. Focusing on listening or just speaking. Yes, this can be problematic. Did you know that? I know people who had speaking activities, private 101 speaking lessons for a year and a half, and they were not getting better. Why? Because they were only focusing on speaking. You want to be an independent English speaker, you need to work on the other English skills: writing, vocabulary, listening, reading, pronunciation, intonation. Just having a casual conversation with someone is not going to help you, okay? When I give the group conversation classes to my babies in the academy, they have twice a month, they have group conversation classes. I talk to as many babies as possible, but the most important part is the correction, is the feedback that I give. That's the most important part. Some of them may not necessarily speak, but they're listening to the corrections and important lessons that I teach to help them improve. So it's not just about speaking. Watch out, okay? You could be very disappointed if you just think, oh, but when I have someone to talk to me, well, if there is no if there's no strategy, if there's no supporting skill, a schedule to work on supporting English skills, you're not going to speak. You're not going to improve the way you think you should improve, okay? Now, the right way to do it, you will follow an integrated practice while choosing your materials wisely. You have to be intentional with your choice, okay? What is to be intentional? Well, you need to analyze the conversation subject, what you're going to talk about, and analyze the duration of materials, especially listening audio clips or video lessons, okay? Depending on what you're going to do, depending on the goal, okay? So that would be a few things for you to consider, and becoming consistent with the practice. So if you have 3 days a week, you have 3 days a week. That's it. 30 minutes, 30 minutes, no more, no less, okay? Unless something really, like something happened, last minute, and then you had to reduce your study time. But in general, be consistent. By being consistent, you will help your brain fire up, okay? I can't go into the details of the science here, but why are habits so important? And why do they help you? And at the same time, if it's a bad habit, it's like really bad for you. When you tell yourself, I'm going to study 3 times a week for 30 minutes to improve my English, and you do it, your brain is like, what? I'm the best. This is an informal explanation, okay? I'm not using scientific terms. Your brain likes that, okay? Because you are keeping your promise to yourself. This means you're like, yeah, I can do this. And the more you do it, the more automatic this process becomes, okay? Your brain doesn't fight anymore. It's like, yeah, this is part of my life. It's my life, yo. But when you do the opposite, when you promise yourself to do something, but you don't, you're doing the opposite to your brain. You're showing your brain, I'm not capable of keeping my promises. This is not important to me. I don't want to do it. And even though in your rational brain, you're like, no, this is important, you're failing to keep your promises, which in turn will make your brain lazier. And the next time you have to study, your brain will be like, no, come on, stay in bed. You don't need to get up. You don't want to do this. It'll be really strong against you, okay? That's why if you're interested in learning more about that, I recommend reading books about habits, okay? They explain all the science behind it, but this is one important element. Your brain is really hooked in this idea of building habits, good or bad, okay? Because when you decide not to do something, you're also building a habit, the habit of saying no, the habit of not doing something. So when you decide not to study English, you're building the habit of not studying, okay? But in the long run, this habit can stop you from achieving your dreams, becoming an independent English speaker, building up the confidence to go anywhere, anytime. So be careful with the habits you build, okay? Everything is habit building, from brushing your teeth to hitting like in my video. Now, guys, what can you follow today? Steps you can follow today. Choose the foundation of your practice for the day, okay? So let's say today is reading day, so it's reading practice, or today is grammar practice, or today is listening practice. You decide. That's the foundation of your practice. Next thing, set the timer, 20 to 40 minutes. You don't need more than that, okay? 3, if you have a little more, good. But that's the bare minimum, okay? 3, choose 2 to 3 skills you're going to work on while you're using the foundation material. So if it's a grammar video, that's the foundation practice. But then based on the grammar video, you can do 2 or 3 other things connected with English. You can write, you can speak, you can work on vocabulary, you can work on intonation, pronunciation, you name it, okay? So choose 2 to 3 skills. 4, time's up. Teacher, I couldn't finish it. What do I do? You stop. You didn't finish. It's okay. But you did what you were supposed to do. You set the timer to 40 minutes and you did your best. If you couldn't finish, you will continue from where you left off the next time you sit down to study. That's how you teach your brain. That's how you condition your brain that you're doing the best you can, okay? That's how you do it. It's not about, no, I just need 5 more minutes. No. Time's up. No, like, 4 more minutes. No. You're building a habit. 40 minutes. The next time you sit down to study, you get back to where you left off. And then you strengthen your brain, and then your brain's gonna be happy, and then you're gonna feel more confident, and that's how you keep going. That's what's going to make you an independent English speaker who is studying for less time, but improving on the journey, okay? The secret is in the process and how consistent you are. So I would rather you followed a much shorter practice than studying for hours, but every now and then, okay? So be very mindful of that. Now, guys, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. People on Instagram, thank you so much. Make sure to come to YouTube and watch the lesson here. That way you have a better experience, okay? People on YouTube, thank you so much. I'll see you next Monday with another cool lesson for you guys. If possible, share this lesson with your friends. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.